Hey y'all. So I want to look into Miss Karen D. La Carriere. I want to look into her words that she has shared about her experience with Lisa Marie Presley as a child. There's so much coming out after we have lost Lisa Marie Presley. And I find these words and information from Karen D. La Carriere, who was known as the Queen of Scientology. She was a high ranking member of the church, and she actually was Lisa Marie Presley's counselor, auditor, whatever you want to call it. So let's look at some of what she's saying, okay? Lisa Marie Presley was so traumatized by her father's passing and discovering his body at 9 years old that she spent the next 35 years trying to be cured by Scientology. And this is according to Miss Karen D. La Carriere. She says that Priscilla Presley, who had turned to Scientology to alleviate the grief of Elvis's sudden death in 1977, used the church to help control her daughter's behavioral problems. As a result, Lisa Marie, who was just 11 years old at the time, and her mother endured a hostile relationship and were in mortal combat for the rest of their lives. Now that's pretty intense. Let's see here. So this Karen lady, she was married to Scientology, the Scientology president from 1978 to 1989. She quit the church in 2010 and she's now remarried. She became Presley's auditor, Scientology speak for counselor, and says that Presley was placed in obedience therapy as a schoolgirl. Okay, she says that Elvis would have never allowed that to occur if he would have lived. Okay, Scientology spokeswoman said the church does not comment on parishioner counseling, but said church leadership is saddened by Lisa Marie's death. Okay. Le Carriere, who left Scientology in 2010, said Priscilla was introduced to the church by her friend John Travolta. She was in a bad mental condition and had gone through a big loss. Elvis had died, and in her moment of great loss, Travolta persuaded her to join Scientology. Now, some of the darker stuff. Let's see. Priscilla then dominated poor Lisa. This is what this lady said. She grew up as a little princess. She was the daughter of the king of rock and roll, living in luxury. But she was in misery because her and her mother were adversaries. Whatever her mother wanted was the opposite of what Lisa wanted. Priscilla forced the religion onto Lisa Marie, she added. This is a girl who was a second generation Scientologist who didn't elect to go into Scientology, but was dragged into it because her parent was in it. She didn't want to be indoctrinated or attend courses. It's really tragic that Lisa, as a 9-year-old, discovered her father's body. She was her daddy's princess. Okay, so we went through this. So this woman believes that Lisa acted out like a child, taking drugs to forget every agony of losing her dad. You see, every agony of losing her dad. Priscilla would get exhausted with her because she was a rebellious kid. She was not a kid who believed in rules and boundaries. She was a free spirit. Okay, she goes on about they were locked in mortal combat. The relationship was hostile. Okay, this gets into, I wanted to get into some of the things they would actually do to Lisa Marie, but then she's also, she says there was a power imbalance. Priscilla had all of her power. She was the mom. The child can't run away at 9 years old. What can you do but fight back and be disrespectful? So Lisa Marie used that as a weapon to be being combative. That's what this lady says. So her mother got more and more worried. I think Lisa first started experimenting with drugs at 13 or 14. The more Lisa fought back, the more Priscilla tried her own methods of control. So when I say locked in mortal combat, the two were not aligned at all. There were no harmony, a relationship of warfare. It was like living in a war zone. Okay. So I'm going to get to some of the actual things that Scientology would do. As an 11-year-old, Presley was dropped off by her mother at the church celebrity center for hours, months on end, for obedience therapy. Oh my gosh. As her behavior went off the rails, Dela Carrier says, she claims Lisa Marie was made to do purification rundown, which consists of hours in a hot sauna, doing large amounts of exercise, and taking high levels of vitamins to make the body supposedly pure. And they do this at least 3 times. The first of these was when she was 12. Oh gosh. Priscilla would bring, she would be scowling when this big limousine drove up to the celebrity center with a chauffeur, and Lisa would be ordered out of the car to get her indoctrination and straighten herself out. Wow. I can't get into what came up in the sessions. It would be betraying trust, but anytime she acted up, she was dropped off. The instructions from Priscilla were handle her, just do it. And she'd be there for hours. Lisa had no choice. I believe this was enforced conversion therapy. It was obedience therapy. Lisa spent a couple of hours a day with me for months when I was her auditor counselor. The 11-year-old shouldn't be an 11-year-old shouldn't be forced into the indoctrination of anything. Oh my gosh. I wasn't some mother superior with a cane rapping her knuckles. I saw the sadness in her eyes. I saw how this force was superimposed against her will. Now I really regret it. I should have just refused and said, I'm not going to do this to an 11-year-old girl who doesn't want any of this. She did drugs, and they forced the Scientology purification rundown on her. The rundown consists of sitting in a sauna for 5 hours a day, slowly taking more and more vitamins and minerals until one is taking 5,000 milligrams of niacin a day. Lisa had to do this procedure over and over because of her drug relapses. doing this program so she'll magically not want drugs anymore. If Elvis was alive, he would never, ever have let his daughter endure torturous purification rundowns. Oh my goodness. Sending her to ethics, handing out morality punishments. That's how like Scientology speak. Ugh. And all the stuff she endured for 35 years. The absolute Scientology indoctrination leading nowhere with no results. He would have never allowed this. Scientology got tons of money out of her. Scientology touts itself as making you this high ethical spirit. You're more aware. You have more morals. You have more ethics. You're practically Superman. You're more healthy. Well, she died a drug addict after being in Scientology 35 years. Wow. It's thought that Lisa Marie turned her back on Scientology after a bust-up with the leader David Miscavige, who disconnected from his father Ron, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Ron was banned, okay, from any contact with other Scientologists' daughters. The same year. Let's see, I don't care about Ron. So this was interesting. The lyrics, which I knew this, but some might not know this. The lyrics to one of her many of her songs actually, they seem to be hitting on Lisa Marie. It's like an expression against Scientology. The lyrics lay down the truth, don't make a sound, just a piece of fruit who's hit the ground. I don't respond. I've lost the plot. Unethical, not what I thought. You can think that I'm evil and I'm all for it. You ain't seen nothing yet. I'm a bit transgressive and suppressive as well. You ain't seen nothing yet. Am I a disruption to your corruption? So that song was a way for her to express what she had went through with Scientology. Okay. Now this lady says, Karen says that she thinks Priscilla will be full of remorse and will turn to her old friend Travolta, who lost his wife Kelly Preston. I predict that this will shake up Priscilla to the core. Interesting. She predicts this. I don't know if I think that. Okay. She could look at how much she tried to make Scientology work, but it did effing all nothing. Okay, so she said excuse my language. It did nothing basically. There's no evidence that Priscilla like Travolta has been doing Scientology services. Interesting. She says Scientology can't resist putting in their magazines and say, look who's endorsing us. And she says Scientology will definitely reel Priscilla back by saying, let us handle your grief. And she says she don't know if Priscilla will play ball anymore. I do feel this will be an earthquake in Priscilla's world. Well, so that's Karen de la Carriere, former auditor known as Scientology, the queen of Scientology, who really had a lot of insight into some of the things Lisa Marie went through. The most shocking for me is the purification ritual. Saunas for 5 hours a day. And then, all of the vitamins. There's just no telling. There is no telling what Lisa Marie went through with that. And what really is shocking to me, she got so brainwashed with it, she put her own children into Scientology. Lisa Marie did. It's just really, really sad. Okay. Thanks so much if you made it this far listening to me read. Not really, I'm not really great at this, but anyway, I'm a fan of Lisa Marie Presley, and I just, I don't know. I don't know. It's so sad. Okay, much love from Tennessee. Take care.